Welcome, welcome. We are live. I thought I was hearing an echo. Welcome to the Unconventional Mindset. Happy Wednesday, November 15th. My name's Odum. And if you're new here, what are we doing? Well, we are coming here every day, live streaming Monday through Friday, and working on building a company that's going to generate us $1 million in revenue every single year. That's our goal. That's what we're working towards. And yeah, that's that. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to continue on developing our components, because what we are building is a web platform called Piixel Pieces, which is a Webflow component and template library. And what that is, of course, is a place where people can join in. They're going to be able to purchase a membership and be able to have access to all the components and templates that we're building, all in Webflow. So that's where we're on right now. So what we did a couple days ago is we started working on sketching out some navigation items, and we also kind of worked on the footer as well too, right over here. But what I'm going to do is we're going to take the sketches that we made on the navigation and just focus on getting the navigation done first. So we sketched these ones out. So let's go now onto Webflow and see what we can do about actually creating these within Webflow. Now, one of the thoughts that I had as we were going over this is, let me zoom in here a little bit so you guys can see, is to create one navigation that basically contains all the different elements except for the mega menu, and then all the other subsequent navigations will just be variations on that primary nav, which is this one right here. And so what do I mean by that? So this one here, this nav bar, it has the drop down item and it has just basic menu items. And now we're going to want it to have like a button. So let's do that. So it's not in the drop down, it's in here. So we're basically going to have to put in another link. But of course, we want this to be a button. So let's just think about what our class needs to be. So if we go into our style guide, we do have our buttons somewhere. We have our buttons right here, which is just a class of button. So, but do we also need to have it to be a class of navbar1 underscore menu link, which is giving it a little bit of that padding. So what we should do to maybe counteract that is this navbar menu should probably be aligned center, which will center align this link here. And then what we can do is we can probably just call, hey Kevin, how you doing? We're just getting started here, designing the navbar elements, or the navigation elements, or components, I guess should be the proper terminology. Right, so everything's center aligned. So now let's just call this button, which should just come out as a button right there. Now, question, is that too big? Let me zoom that. So that text is, let me look at that. I got font size medium. Okay, hang on a second. Whoop. So for this navigation, what do I have the font size as? It just has as a default font size. So, but button is not default font size. So I think that's a mistake. I think we need to make this the default font size. So font size, where's default? Default font size, okay. And then the button is large, the size just goes to large, okay. What do we have here for the padding for the button? Just let me see. Padding one REM. I think that should be good. So I updated that. So let's see what this looks. Okay, that looks much better. That looks much more harmonious, I think I will say. Okay, so this is call to action. I don't know what I should call it. Maybe join or contact, or maybe just call it button. I think that's what it was before. Okay, now should we have a secondary button? So one thought process would be to have a second button, because this second button, you want it to be like a reverse button maybe. Actually, you wouldn't do it on this one. You'd probably do it on this one. Okay, now there's a problem on this one as well too. So yes to the secondary button. Yeah, someone can delete it. Yeah, that's always the thing of deleting versus adding. Which one's easier? Probably easier to delete because it's right there. But there is a little bit of an issue here that I'm seeing, and that has to do with the padding on the buttons. All right, yeah, so we'll leave that in. Style guide. Let's go take a look at this button here. This is actually good, using kind of the elements within the style guide to make sure that everything is displaying correctly. Okay, so we have a 2 pixel width here. So this button should have, oh, it's only 1 pixel. That would be why. So let's make it 2. Okay, that should do it. Let's go back home. Okay, now it looks much better. However, now that I see this, one thing that I don't like is the spacing in between the 2 buttons. Like, I feel like they should be closer. That depends. I don't know. I don't think we want to mess with it on here. This is, yeah, that could be changed at the user level. Yeah. Okay. So I think this here, if we're going back to here, this is, I need it. Where's my good pencil? Oh, of course. It's not in the pencil case. It's right here. Okay, what was I saying? Right. That navigation is basically this one. So you have your logo, your drop down, and you have your different items, and you have your button. Although we put in the double buttons. Okay. And this, so now what we need to do is just make the variations. Yeah. Let's make the variations, and then we'll see what we want to do, if we want to even include them or not, which we probably will, but. And then we have this secondary different type of version of navigation. Oh, actually, the real navigation is the mega menu. That's the real secondary version. This one is still just kind of a, well, no, this one's a little bit different in terms of making sure everything's centered correctly. Okay, let's work on some variations and go from there. Okay. So I think this is looking good. Let's ooh, not quite good on the drop down here. Okay, let's find out what's going on there. Navbar. or not the drop down, but this isn't when it's in like mobile. So we want to, oh, well, let's just make sure the drop down looks, actually there's no drop down. There is drop down. Yeah, that looks good. And we're definitely going to buy, I'm going to buy an icon set that I can use throughout the whole style guide and put in some icons because default icons just suck. So actually, I wonder if I can, because I have a bunch of these icons here, and I wonder what the license is. Terms and licensing. Licensing. Create N for clients or personal projects. Redistribute items as stock and source files. Okay, I'm not going to sell it. Make a theme, template, or derivative work of any product to sell on a marketplace. Does that mean if I take these icons and use them to make a theme, that's not good? That's looking like what that means. End products included but are not limited to games, illustrations, wireframes. Maybe I'll have to find out if they're, well, wait, create end products for clients or personal. End products include but are not limited to commercial or personal websites, mobile apps, web games, wireframes, presentations, and videos. Maybe. Oh, geez. That's a 1-800 number. Don't know who that is. Anyways, totally getting distracted. All right. Let's go here, and we need to open this up. And okay, what exactly is happening here? This whole, what is this thing? It's nav bar menu 1. It's align center. Okay. Oh yeah, it's going to be all in here. So this is the container. That doesn't do anything. Although that doesn't do anything either, because this is the nav down items. Just trying to avoid putting it into not like a div block. But I'm not seeing what's driving these buttons here to be centered, because everything should be within this parent element. Why are the buttons center aligned? Unless there's something in here. And not really, I don't think. It's this navbar 1 container. Display block. Let's just see what's going on. Grid. Okay, that's not even displaying that stuff. Okay. So it's not that. I don't know what it is. So I think what we're going to need to do, I think Interesting. Like none of this stuff has any effect. Even if I hide it. Okay, so that's just... I guess I don't understand. Again, I guess this is a weird thing with the Webflow. This is like a Webflow nav. Like it's a pre-built thing. An element, I guess. And I just don't understand exactly how it's built. Because something is causing this that is outside of this whole thing. So, shit. We're going to have to wrap it in a div block. And so we're going to have to call this, so navbar one, like button container or just buttons, button container. Okay. And so we're going to have to, I mean, if we flex it, it's probably going to, yeah, and that's exactly what it does. That's what I thought it would do, which is good. And then we're going to want to do it vertical, but we don't want them to be stretched all the way. So let's align it to the left. And we're going to give a gap. I guess, do we do our standard 1 REM gap? And what is the padding on here? Oh, why does this navbar container have a gap of 16 pixels? Interesting. Change that. Padding here is 1.25 and 1. Oh, right, because of that extra issue. So now we're going to have to put... Oh, shit. Okay. Here's a question. Actually, I think I know the answer, but... So you can see from this, there's a difference in 0.25 REM padding from the left margin right over here to the bottom. And that's because if there's just text, there's a little bit of 0.25 REM padding on the bottom of each nav element. So if there's no buttons here, like if we could just hide them, you'll see that it's correctly spaced. But if we add this thing here, it's not. So instead of adjusting this outside, because if someone's going to take this and delete all the buttons, then I still want the navigation menu to look good. So what I will do instead is I will add margin to the whole nav button container. And that should clean it up, which it does. Except the spacing in between the items are a little bit off. So I wonder if I should go into this thing here. I wonder if I should just update this to 1. Well, if I update that to 1, then this is going to have to be deleted. Oh. And then I think in this one, I might want to add just a little bit more. I'm always hesitant of putting too much positioning and styling on this, but I mean, I guess this, we want to make it look the best right out the box. And I'm curious, do you think the buttons look better stacked up like this? Or should we just make them like this so that the two buttons are side by side still? I gotta get rid of that. I guess it also depends on the length of the button and like what the word says. And then of course on what size screen you're on. But that's actually not so bad here. I might like that. And then when you're in mobile, then maybe we can go down and we could just verticalize this. Yeah, that's actually not bad. I'm going to leave it at that. Yeah, I like that. Oh, you know what? Now I think I know why this color comes in here whenever I do this. Because number one, it's still set to show. So it's showing even though it shouldn't. But I think when I put it into here, that's when I actually set the styles for the element. So I should almost do it not just on this breakpoint, but like on all of them, on the regular one. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So let's do that. One REM. That the same. And then what was it over here? 0.05. Okay, so we can delete that here. Then the color, the background color is black. So let's change that here to black. Ooh, hang on. Not cool. Let's go back. Let's undo. And I think redo that. Let's show this. Go back here. And now it's just disappeared. And this is still black. Oh, hang on a second. That's wrong. I don't want this padding to be here. Because it is, right, it's still going to show up. Yeah, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot completely. No, yeah, we don't want that at all. We don't want this at all here. We want it here. Yeah, I'm an idiot. This is what happens, I think, when you do something and then you kind of just take some time off and don't get back to it. You kind of forget what the hell it is you did. Or at least I do anyways. And show me. Drop down, drop down, drop down. Looks good. Everything looks good. Everything looks even. Okay, I think we're good. That is our very first finalized component. So, yay. I think what we're going to do here, let's duplicate this here. We're going to call this navigation. I'm going to sort these by like the type of component, I think. And just create each component on a different page. So let's go. So let's delete that completely. And what I want to do actually, I want to I think I need something like this. Like a style guide section content. And then I'm going to put them in here. And I think I can have multiple sections. I think that's how I've done it. Unless it goes like this for maybe I have this whole thing where it has navigation and then navigation elements. I guess this doesn't actually really matter so much. Maybe I'm splitting hairs a little bit too much. Let's all these padding things and containers, it's new to me with how to create layouts. So I definitely need to work with it more, because I always just have to read like, hey, what's going on here again? So let me just copy this for a second. Or actually, I should be, what do I have here? So we don't need this. What I want, oh my goodness, this copied everything. I do not want to do copy everything. What is going to be the best way to lay this thing out? Yeah, I think I just want just different sections, to be honest. So for example, this will just be section, underscore navigation. Again, I don't think these aren't going to be things that anybody is going to be copying. It's really just going to be the nav bar. What happened to the buttons here? Why are they side by side now? What happened? Did I do something? I must have done something. Oh, I must have. What I'm thinking is I must have only moved those buttons to the side when they were on tablet mode. Let me see. Show me the menu. The buttons. Yes, I only did it there. Okay. Well, I need to do it everywhere. So we're displaying it as flex and with horizontal and then aligned to the top aligned. I don't think we need that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so let's go. Oh, no, we still need this, but we need, I guess it's just the spacing that's different. Yeah, it's just the spacing. So we'll keep that. And I think what we'll do is just here, we can just delete it from here. Yeah. Oh, geez, I didn't notice that. Okay, that should be good. So, right. So, but going back to this, oh, not the style guide, but the navigation. So that's our first one. And I think basically what I want to do is if I copy this one, then this is going to be the secondary one, right? This will be nav 2. And then what we can do, I think, is I'm just going to steal this guy. Yeah, I think it'll be this guy. Throw you in here and just now bar 1. Just for now. This is just for now. This probably looks horrible, but we'll get it better. And this will be like navbar 2. Right? Or maybe should it be smaller like these guys? Maybe it should be smaller. But now I have to update these. Not a tag, but say is inline. Then it's going to do that. But then if I delete that, am I going to have issues? I might. And you know what? I just did that is inline. But is that going to get added to the style guide? Now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, we don't have that. Okay, you know what? I need to duplicate this project because otherwise I'm just going to completely gum up the style guide by creating a whole bunch of different things. Okay. Oh, where was I? I did this thing. Just delete you. You can go. Actually, just bring one back here. What should we do? We want to go, let's go to the dashboard here. Am I going to even be able to duplicate this site? What just happened? Go back. I've reached your unhosted limit. Damn it. Okay, well, I don't need this anymore. And we could probably get rid of this one eventually because this is going to be the actual component one. Oh, so it has to be something that's actually been launched. Shit. What sites can I get rid of? Hang on a second. I'm going to take a look to see if there's any of these other sites that I can. Oh, that's live. It's this one. Those are not live. Maybe I can unpublish something. Maybe that'll work. Sorry. So here's this guy. Let's see if we can unpublish this. And let's see if that'll free up like space. Because it's an unpublished. So if we go here and duplicate. Okay, good. So now we can. All right. Yeah, copy everything. So once that's copied, that's going to be our final components. And then I should just rename this one. Well, I'll keep this one too. I'll need another one. Another one for the template. Well, I'll need lots of them for different templates, for the different themes. And then one for the style guide. And then one for, well, the components, I guess. I don't know if each component is going to need to be its own project or in terms of making everything copyable with one click. Yeah, I don't know how that's done. I still need to figure out how that's done. Anyways, in my mind, if we can keep all the components in one Webflow project and then keep all of the, what's the other word I'm looking for? Keep all the templates. They're going to each be in their own Webflow project, and then one more web project for all of the for the style guide, and then that should be it. Let's see if this thing is done. So I was going to get an email once it's done, which I just did. So I think I need to refresh. Okay. So can we edit these settings? We're just going to call this Piixel pieces components. Can I call it that? Or was everything else called that? Let me take a quick look. Piixel pieces components. Yeah, so I can't call it Piixel pieces components. I'm gonna have to delete this one as soon as I'm ready. Component library. All right, save. Okay. Oh man, I can't wait to finish this stuff, and then we could like go live and start the actual really cool business stuff of actually trying to build a business. Oh, I can't wait. Okay. So let's go into the designer on this one. So now this one is as if we just got the new style guide, and we can go ahead and just start building. Now here's where the problem could be, is that if there's any changes that I want to make to the style guide, I have to remember that I need to do it on the other site, right? Like on this one. And actually, can I duplicate this again? It won't let me again. Right. What can I delete anything? No, I just keep going here. There's a couple copies here, but these are different. I can't really delete my client websites. You know, it would be really cool, like if you can archive specific pages. Sorry, I'm just going into my client stuff here. What can I do? Can I archive? I can't archive, but I'm hesitant to delete anything. Basically, I had a client that is not a client anymore. They're one of my original persons. They had a website and they decided to go to a different direction. You know, no problem there. But what do I do with their website? So how can I archive it? So there's custom code here. No, not custom code. I wonder, like, can I go in and, sorry, I know you can't see this. Sorry, let me see if I can go in without giving away the client stuff here. Let's go into the designer. I just want to see if I can completely export. If I want to export it, I need to add hosting. Oh, that's annoying. Oh, this is a nice site, man. Okay, well, I'll have to take this offline to figure out either A, which I might have to do, probably will have to do, is to upgrade to the next level so I can have more than 10 sites. What is that next level actually? Sorry, I'm all over the place. Pricing, Webflow. Because basically it's not a site plan, it's the other plan, the workspace plan. No, it's not even the works. That's freelance. Okay, here we are. All right, so I'm a freelancer. I get 10 staging sites on webflow.io domains. But as an agency, I get unlimited. So I might need that. And then I get advanced roles and permissions, which might actually really be handy. This is actually really good. So then I could take to my clients and then they can have, say, editing access, and some of them can have design access if they want to. I might actually have to do that. That's what, an extra $19 a month. That's pricey, which is USD to Canadian. Let me just see. 19. That's $26 a month. Times 12 months. Times 12. Whoops. Times 26. That's actually $312. Damn. Okay. Well, yeah, we'll look at that. What's a commenter? Comments only users are free and do not count against your user limit. But I only get 10. For those managing multiple clients. Yeah, I guess that would be me. Do I get anything else under agency? I just want to see. I get more seats. But then again, it's really just me. Publishing permissions, site-specific access. So different users can have different access to different websites, or maybe different people within, like, my organization, within the agency. Unlimited staging, yeah. Site, remove Webflow badges on stage sites. Well, that would be kind of cool. Launch, okay. Manage your site, support and admin. There's email support. Enterprise traffic scaling. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Definitely not there yet. Okay, well, we'll worry about that. I'll worry about that offline. Okay, so now let's get back to what we're doing here for the navigation. All right, navbar 2. Let me just... Oh, right. So then we could just change what items it has. Right. So we can have different variations. So let's create these different variations. And then we can just see kind of what we want to have. So, I mean, so we can delete that. So, I mean, that would be a variation just on its own. But then we'd have to call it navbar 2, which we'll get to in a second. Then we have another section. Say navbar 3, which deletes the button. And also, we'll delete the whole drop down. And then we'll have, and then I guess we can have, okay, I have written down a basic one, but with a button. So we have navbar 4. So now it has basic with the buttons. And I guess we can do like drop down with the buttons, but that's a little bit, you can just take this and just delete that. I think that's too much. So, so Kevin, you have to tell me what you think about this. So there's these 4 different options. So I think from what you were saying before is you would prefer to have these 4 options, say when you're perusing within Piixel Pieces. Let me just even... I'll just bring this up real quick. Actually, I should just be able to go to Piixel Pieces right here. So you're perusing the components, and there's the basic nav. You would prefer to have all these 4 navigation options, even though they're just simple variations of this first one. You would prefer to have all 4 of these here so that you can just kind of take, oh, I want the one without the buttons, whatever, blah, 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 hit copy. And away you go. So that's the question I'm thinking, because for me, like I see all these are, again, very, very simple variations of this first one. Super, super simple. But does it make sense to do that? I mean, again, if the users want it, then great, I'll do it. But what we should do, at least here, is we should rename. Oh, this is going to be difficult to rename. How am I going to... Is there a way that I could rename things without renaming all of them? Because they need to keep the same... They need to keep the same... like styling, or to keep the same styles. So how can I rename them without renaming all of them? Right, I see what you're saying. So you would like to see layout variation, but maybe not this granular. Right, exactly, with the logo. That's what I was thinking as well too, is there's different variations that we illustrated that have the same things, but just the actual elements themselves are in a different position. So I'll do one of those right now. And then we could have another think at it. Okay. So whatever, let's just put this 5. Okay. So this one wait, we still have the issue of renaming these things. I mean, if I cut and pasted and put it in, I could put it in another project. And then when I'm in another project, then I could just do the whole renaming convention. Maybe I should just do that. And then I could drop them back and forth. That'll be the easiest in trying to do that. And shit, I'm going to have to pay for this. Okay, we're going to have to do this. Okay. Because I don't think I can create. It's not going to let me create a new site, is it? No. All right. Well, we're upgrading, I guess. Do I need to do this? Yeah, I need to do this. I can't work without it. It's going to cost $205 for the year. I don't want to go monthly. How many seats do I need? Oh, you got to pay per seat? Wow. And what is a seat anyways? Yeah, no, I hear you about doing month to month. But I'm just going to pay it for the whole year because it's going to be, it's a big difference. Like if I do this, I got to pay $42 or unused. I guess it would be free. But then, because how much credits do I have? I have $173 worth of credits. And if I go down to month, no, I'm going to need this. I'm going to need this because I have clients and I have stuff. I need it. And I'm also bringing another client on board that's a lot more complicated. No, I'll go with this. Yeah, whatever. $200. It's not too bad. Thankfully, like I said, with the taxes that I saved when we did yesterday, in terms of saved, I still have to pay like $5,000 in taxes. But I had saved $9,000 or something like that for my taxes for this year. So I'll use an extra $300 to pay for this. Okay, so now we're on agency. Success. So, okay, what's going on? This is billing. Go back to the dashboard. Let's go back to our sites. So, right, let's duplicate this one. Let's do all this stuff that we wanted to do before. And hopefully this shouldn't take very long to duplicate. All right. So this one is going to be Piixel, pieces style guide. Okay, go back. Nothing's working. Okay, am I frozen? Let's refresh. Okay, go back here. Oh, it's getting all confusing because they all have the same view. This is the component library. Now I just want a new site. Odooms, cut and paste. Okay, while that's loading. So basically what I want to do, I'm going to copy this one, paste it into here. And now I could go into here and I could rename things. Or even if I just rename this navbar 1, it should rename everything underneath, I hope. Which would be super sick. Almost, except it didn't rename it doesn't rename like the main one, like navbar 1. Well, that's interesting. Let's go in here. It says everything's navbar 2 except for this. Why does it do that? I don't know. Does it copy the whole? It doesn't copy the whole style guide. It just copies what's in here. Right. Okay. So anyways, so now I could take this. I could, well, yeah, I mean, I could just copy it here and then delete and paste. Oh shit. The buttons. What did it do with the buttons? Okay, no, I did not want that. Just, you could still be button class. You didn't have to. Okay, well, let's just do button is reverse. And you could just be regular button. So any class that is the same class as when you're copying and pasting gets renamed. Fair enough. So this is navbar 2. Okay, let me just clean up styles. What? Okay, not much. Remove those. Okay, so, right, now we got copied over. Now what are we doing? We're actually making a different navigation version. And so in this version, we need basically this one here. Or should we start with this one? Let's start with this one. Because these two are quite similar. So there's different ways we can do this. So this one here, I think what we'll want to do, so you could do it flex. You can put each of these things in its own div container, and then you could flex it, which will work. However, in order to get them to be completely aligned, because what it does when you flex it, it makes the space in between the two elements the same, as opposed to perfectly centering, say, this one. So like if this one is 200 pixels and this one's 300 pixels, this logo is going to be aligned a little bit more to the right because it's going to skew over because this is bigger. So it needs to make sure that that space is even. So in order to avoid that, you can still have it flex, but then you need to set, like you need to hard code the size of this, of these like div elements basically, or whatever elements you end up using. So at 33.3% or whatever the heck it is. Losing my train of thought. Oh yeah, and then, but I think what the better way to do is to just put it in a grid. And then when we put it in a grid, well, just same thing when you're in a flex environment as well too. We can tell this logo, this grid section, to be the first grid, depending on how we want to change things around when we go to a mobile. Right, into a mobile situation. So let's do it that way. So we're gonna go and I think what we're going to do is we're probably going to use, should we use the style guide grid, or should we use a custom grid that's like a navigation grid? That's another question. I mean, I think the idea is, because if we go, how do I work the grids again? Now I need to refresh my memory with the grids. Grid and then grid 2 columns. So I think right. Okay, so let's go. No, we got to go back here. So this is the whole nav bar here. Oh my goodness. Do we have to hide? I'm just thinking about the hamburger now and everything. Okay, I think this will work. Okay, a 3-column grid. Where is this one though? Okay. Basically have to take these out. And so the menu item is there. The logo is in that grid. And then these buttons are in the 3rd grid. Let me see these grids. And is this in? The buttons are not in. Okay, there we go. Actually, you get in there too. Okay. So I'm just thinking here in terms of the grid, and I'm thinking that there's going to be some custom styling that's going to go into this grid here. So I think in order to avoid really making this, the class name super crazy, or just basically, what is it when you're stacking a bunch of CSS selectors? I'm going to create a new class for it. Navbar 2, maybe we'll just call it grid for now. Yeah, okay. And make it a grid. I'm gonna make it a 3-column. And we need to span, how come it's not spanning 100%? Oh, what's this navbar 2 container? What is going on there? Oh, now I've confused myself. Because this thing is not at 100%. Why is it not at 100%? Is there anything specifically causing it to not be 100%? So we have our grid items, and we want, well, at least the second one, which is this one. We need, well, first of all the grid items need to be aligned center. And then, but this one specifically, because we want the second item to be justified in the middle, And with the third one, we need that to be justified to the left. And that gives us this type of system or setup. And if we go into this mode, so these buttons are not hidden. And these buttons are not hidden because they are supposed to be inside this navbar 2 menu. I'm pretty sure, because if we go here and if we show this, yeah. So it's getting pulled out of the menu if we have it there. And I don't know if there's any way, anything that we can do to get it back in. I don't think so, which really sucks. So so looking for, right, edit this grid. So this is where this will become too much of a pain, I think anyways, is that like what you can do is obviously you can duplicate this button and I can hide this button, but then show the one that's over here and just have the buttons over there. So basically you have two buttons, but then that's a really big problem if you want to update what that button is. Does that make any sense? So basically I'm saying when you go to this view here, then of course we drop, number one, we drop down into a 2-grid system, and then we would take these guys, hide these ones, and then let's go to the navbar grid, and then that's going to be a 2-grid container, and then this button here. Actually, no. Oh, even this might be a little bit messed up because that's going to be stuck in there. Maybe having it in a grid is not going to be the best way. Maybe we're going to actually have to flex it. But even still, we're still going to have issues. Oh, this is going to be complicated. I got to figure this out. The last thing we want to do is have the user to have to update 2 buttons or 2 different menu structures. But I don't know how you get away with that if you want to keep this nav structure. This is the big thing. It's trying to keep this nav structure. That's kind of my problem. Because when you have that nav structure, you can't separate things out from this main thing right here, this nav menu where the drop down is and all the buttons. Because when you go to hover over it to show it, bring it over here, where you show it, it has to be, everything has to be in here, right? So you can't just transpose these buttons and put them here. I guess, I mean, maybe Um, let's go into here. Maybe. Doubtful, but maybe. If you have these buttons, which, where are they? I don't see them. So are they hidden now? I think I'm messing around something. Let's undo all this stuff. Because maybe if these buttons go back down into this drop down area, basically, how were they? They're basically like beside here. So that when we go to this part and we go to the drop down and then we show it, no, we need to show what's inside here, right? Why is it not showing? Okay, why is it being... I'm not sure why it's doing that. Anyways. So maybe, I guess what I'm thinking is maybe when it's here, maybe we can float it. Like if we just pull it out completely, where would that be? Where's the float? The display itself is set to flex. Okay, so if we unflex it, and can we float? They don't affect flex children. So because everything else in here is, yeah, this is like a nightmare. Yeah, that's a nightmare. Unless we keep the buttons there in plain view, which is then what's the point? Okay. So what's going to happen, I think, is I'm just going to have to build out a custom navigation that is not using this built-in, where is it? This built-in navigation. Where is it? I know it's somewhere. This nav bar. Yeah. It just has like all the built-in animations or whatever. So we're just going to have to build in our custom one. So, because basically, yeah. So this nav bar, that's just your basic, maybe we should almost call it like basic nav bar. It should be something like this. Like basic nav bar. And then this one, I don't know, just like custom. I don't know if it should have names like that. Or this one, yeah. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to have to make a new one. Yeah, so let's do it, I guess. We're not doing anything else. So, all right, let's get building. So this is going to be, I mean, I guess it's going to be navbar 2. Well, here's another problem too. Are we going to have conflicting class names? Let's see. So navbar 2. how do I want to do this? I basically want to create the 3 different containers, or I should say sections. Navbar. You know what we could do? We could just say forget about labeling them for now. And let's go here. So copy, paste in there. This one is going to be, so now we're going to have to make our own like menu structure. And let's make a basic one. Yeah, so let's just say, right, different links. Home, and about, contact. And then here, the third one is going to be like the buttons, right? Which we can actually, maybe let's just copy that here. And this one is actually going to be in the middle. And then we're going to say this navbar 2, you are going to be, you are going to be a grid, 3-column grid. Sure, let's put some spacing in the middle. And we're done. So that's the grid. And then the first item is, yeah, that's fine. Actually, this whole thing, let's align it center. And then the second one, the position is going to be justified middle. And the third one is justified to the right. So can I just... is it is hidden or just hidden? Or is it hide? Yeah, it's hide. Okay. So there we go. So there's our simple 3-column navigation. And so with these elements, we're just going to just super simple here. And then when we get to here, navbar menu 2. That's when we're going to want to showcase the hamburger, which we're going to have to build. So actually, so there's a hamburger here. Let's copy this one. Let's put it here. Maybe we could just add it here just for funsies for now. Then essentially what we're going to do is just going to want to hide everything. Right. Okay. Let's rename things more appropriately now. Now that I think we pretty much have all the elements that we need for this one. Navbar 2 underscore that already exists, right? I'll just call it that. No, shit, I can't do that because it's got a style. Oh, just flex. That's not so bad. I could redo that one. So navbar to underscore menu. Okay, it's already actually pretty much what we need, except it's EMs instead of REMs. What's going on here? So navbar to underscore logo. Oh, hang on. No. Incorrect. Navbar to just logo container. So just want to be careful here. I'm not duplicating too many different things. Navbar to underscore, we're going to call this I like to call these things like just my portal buttons, buttons into the portal. So yeah, we'll go with that. And so this one, I'll make sure, okay, the button, the hamburger is centered. Okay. Why are those buttons not aligned properly? Interesting. Is there something to do with the buttons? I'm just curious why these buttons are not aligned to the middle of the grid. Yeah, it's not aligned. I think it's just because of the way that this hamburger is in there. Because now we're good. And if those buttons go out, the hamburger's good too. It's causing some kind of issue. These guys together. Oh, one's going to the top, one's going to the bottom, and they're both, I see. And this is going on the outside because this is a link. And I feel like a button that is a link. Wonder if the display is inline block, that would help. Let's go to the style guide here for a second. Buttons, buttons, buttons. Right, they're all pointers, so nothing here is with a link. Doesn't affect Flex Children. I feel like let's go with the link. I'm just going to say button. And of course, this is going to be a button. Or I should say, click here. But this button, I can't inline block it. That's because of where it is. So, but if I go here, let's see if there's any ramifications for doing this. So if I make this as a block, and we're just going to hide this hamburger. Oh, there's still issues here. It's not spacing quite right. I'm not sure why that is. Oh, I do have a height here. That's probably why. Okay, now let's go back to the style guide. I imagine that everything should be just fine because it's not going to affect as it says, right? So what we're going to need to do, we're going to have to fix that and or update our style guide. So let's go to our style guide, which is going to be this one. We're going to have to do some major cleanup. And let's just go to our button and basically all of this. I could totally delete all of this, and let's just have one link, and we're going to call it button. And we are going to have a display inline block. And that hopefully will appear here. Well, it doesn't say. But just let me put a note here. A link button. Was given and display inline block to make sure links display exactly like buttons. Okay, so that's gonna have to go in the documentation somewhere. Okay, so this is back to the component library place. Okay. So we have our navbar 2, navbar menu, logo container, portal. I don't even think we should call them. I think we should just call them different columns, to be honest. Or no, that might be an issue as well because we need to target specific columns to go every which way. Well, maybe not. Let's see. So navbar 2 button container, and we want to display that as flex as before. Okay, so now when we go here, this is where things are going to get interesting, right? In fact, this nav bar hamburger needs to go out. This whole yeah, let's get rid of class names. Just for now. So we go here. This one needs to be displayed. Okay, it's totally squished. That's hilarious because, well, it's going into a grid. Okay. Okay, what do we do? What do we do here? I think basically what we're going to want to do I don't think do we want to keep things in a grid? I mean, if we keep it in a grid, I don't think we want to so much keep it as a grid because we know that this one, all these ones need to go off to the left, onto the left, and this onto the right. I wonder if I can, maybe if I even wrap that in another container. Ooh, I got it. I got it. Okay. Navbar to let's just say grid wrapper. Okay. This one, okay, let's go back here. You are not a grid anymore. You are just nothing. You, however, are a grid. A 3-column grid. And with everything being centered. And of course, this last one, you are going off to the left. And then when we go to tablet mode, this is visible. This changes to flex, vertical, aligned to the left. And then this changes to 2-column, or sorry, flex, and then aligned at the top, and then justified space evenly. So, oh wait, I'm not even thinking now. No, it's not quite there. Okay, I was just totally thinking. Yeah, everything needs to go out, except the problem is now is we need to have the menu, or the, what's the word I'm looking for? We need to have this one at the top, which is fine. And we need to have everything, just the other things, shown or hidden. Right, but how are we going to do that? So I think, okay, let's go back 1 second. Throw this one here. Except that this one needs to be, can we change its order? We want it to be 2. It can't be anything in between, huh? Okay, so then I guess we're just going to go. I think it needs to go columns, right? So column span 2? No, that means it's going to span 2 columns, which we don't want it to do. Oh, I thought for sure we can do that. I guess maybe we just change this one. We change this one to first. And this one should go to second. And when we go here, so now we can take these 2 items and we can definitely, obviously we can hide them like so that when you click, those get displayed. But we're also going to want to, how are we going to want to show them? They basically need to be wrapped in a container, in their own container. So that way, when you click on them, we could animate that whole section, right? And not just have, well, basically just not have the 2 things just kind of show up, right? That doesn't look good. Like just here and here. So how do we do that when we're here? So what we're going to want is, okay, why is, oh, I totally messed everything up. What happened? They switched places. And then this one, your center. How did that switch? Oh, I guess maybe because here, div block 2, I have this weird order on it. I guess here then I just have to exit. So then it's just regular. It should just be regular now. Or then maybe this one, I need to put this one first. But then why is it not showing us first? Even though I'm telling it it's first. That looks like some kind of bug. Anyways, that's not too critical right now. Well, it's pretty critical, but right, because what we need to do is we just need to go here and we need this and this now to be wrapped in its own like container. how do we do that if we want to make the logo be smack dab in the middle? My. What can we do? I mean, we can have the whole logo itself just be position fixed right in the middle. Right in the middle of everything. That might be easier. Let's try something like that. So instead of grid, we put the space between. And we're going to have to position this one relative. And then if we take this guy and we're just going to absolutely position it but of course we want it to be in the middle. Now, how, if we auto this, no, because that's, and if we do it the full, if we do it the full width, no, but that's not what we want, because then it's going to cover everything. Like, oh, no, it still might be okay. So if everything is absolute, but can we, on the inside, we can do that, eh? Maybe this is the ticket. Maybe that's the ticket. And then what we do, we just go with this block here. In fact, with this, excuse me, we don't have to display anything on here. We just need to go into this one and flex this one like this. And now we have the whole container. All right. This gets us to where we want to be. I think. So because when we go here, we want to hide this guy, right? And then this guy's here, and then we're going to go within here. Then we're going to justify this navbar to wrapper. You're going to be horizontal. Justify like this, but we have to change this guy to not be relative, but to be static. But why is it? Maybe because it's position. No, Why is it not at 100%? That's where it's always frustrating. I don't want to have to type that in. But then here we have it. Here's our menu, our simplified menu. So we have our thing, our logo, and then we have the hamburger. And then when the hamburger gets clicked on, it's going to reveal this. And this, of course, we'll just position it like at the bottom here. Well, let's just say position. We're going to fix it. And I mean, it should be fixed relative to, not the body. It should be relative to right here. I think, do I have this right? Nav bar grid to position relative. That's if it's absolute, but we're not absolute, so we're fixed. Because if it's 0, it's at the top of the page. I thought it was supposed to be at the top of the element. I guess that would be if it's absolute, but then you don't have any scroll. Oh no, that should still scroll. Should, right? Yeah, yes, perfect. And then let's just say, just so we can start to see this thing come together. Black. A little bit of padding. But of course the top, this is going to be, maybe we can custom make how high the navigation is, but there we go. That's our nav bar, our custom nav bar number 2. We still need some work, obviously. So we have this here. This is how it is on full screen or whatever, full screen on just full, like desktop or whatever. And then you go to mobile, and then it goes to your hamburger, then it has the title, and then your links and your buttons are on here. And of course, you can make this thing as wide as you want, whatever the case may be, right? So, because I think if you put it to 100%, it'll go the full width. You can have it go scroll down onto the screen, different effects, whatever the case may be, all on this one little block here, which I'm loving. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I'm really happy with this. So this is good. And with this one, now that this one's done, well, I mean, it's not done. But now we can take it and do some very similar things to these ones. And then also the mega menu one as well too. So lots more work to be done on those, but that's kind of where we're at, which is really nice. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop it here because we're just getting on to 2 hours here. It's getting close to supper time. So I'm going to leave it here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep going on this either just tonight or tomorrow, because I really need to start working on this stuff off screen so we can start getting much further along, so we can get close to being ready to release our components. So yeah, anyways, that's it. We're just going to keep plugging away tomorrow. So thank you so much for joining. Thank you for watching. I'm really glad that we nailed down this navigation stuff, because, oh my goodness. Yeah, I know. It just took like an hour to do, whatever. So I guess it's not that bad. But But yeah, so thank you for joining. Thank you for watching, supporting. I really appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much. Have yourself a great night, and we'll see you here for a brand new stream tomorrow.